Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Big up your damn selves in the building. Make sure you smash up the likes every single damn time and subscribe if you are new. Chelsea versus Middlesbrough preview. It's looking a bit chilly. It's feeling a little bit frosty. Tonight is the night. Long day. Long day, long day, long day. Chelsea versus Middlesbrough, 23rd of January, second leg of the Carabao semi-final. Feeling frosty, feeling chilly. And I'm not talking about Chilwell being back, potentially. Long day. This is it. Welcome. Judgment Day. Doomsday. It could be any day. Who knows? It is Tuesday and it is a big day. And I am very much mentally unprepared for this tonight. You must be there for the watch along. This is going to be a massive game. I don't need to go into the magnitude of the match. We know exactly what's on the line. We need to handle business. We need to stand on business. And if not, then consequences, big consequences. So let's talk about the news coming into this game. There's been a lot of briefing going on. And it's getting very boring because it's bait. It's very obvious. It's very in our faces, almost disrespectful to our intelligence, undermining our intelligence. Cassidy, first of all, coming back from that loan from Leicester. And of course, people talk about how will he play in this team? What's his role? What's his, level of importance? And the briefing of his training levels to booster up the first team and really, really push the squad and be involved and be a big part of it. Now, actions speak louder than words. Do I think he's ready to be a midfielder at this level? And we're talking about Premier League level. No, because he obviously wasn't ready at Leicester. That's why he wasn't starting up until very recently. The Leicester fans were just starting to see a couple of consecutive starts from him. So to come to the league up, you kind of want to justify that with an incredible championship season, which is what other youngsters have had. He was not having that. So for me, in terms of his involvement, he's bringing the height, right? I've said it before, he's bringing the height. Potentially last 10 minutes, you throw him on as a second striker, you get balls into the box, he wins the initial headers, the knockdowns, maybe gets a goal. And obviously on defensive set pieces, if you've got 10 minutes left, you need a bit of aerial dominance, the long throws are coming in, he handles that hopefully too. That's really as much as I see him bringing to the side in the short term, medium term. Long term, he probably needs another loan. So that's as far as I expect it to go this season. Of course, we don't know Leslie Okachukwu's availability. We don't know Lavia's, so he could potentially get minutes in that midfield while Santos is away. Speaking of his involvement in, the future in terms of after his Brazil stint, we don't know. He doesn't know. They will decide where he goes on loan in this month. Couple of days really to go after this. It's not too long until the end, about a week. So we'll see. But I think technically he'd be more ready to play in the Premier League. And that's why he probably got the Premier League loan, right? As opposed to Cassidy. But what really takes the piss, what really is foolish, is if you think I'm going to believe that Go Diego Go, Go Diego Go, backup dancer to Dora the Explorer, is going to play in this team. I've seen him against Wimbledon. I've seen him in pre-season when he was going up against Angelo for the right wing spot. He is not ready. If you cannot get into a team, a squad, not a match day squad at Lyon who was struggling in League One, if you can't get into that match day squad, you will not be making any sort of impact at Chelsea, right? So don't try and brief me. Don't try and breathalyze me, bruv. I ain't drinking. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm sober. Don't try it. It's very obvious that this brother has been brought back, or sent back really, because he couldn't do any damage at Lyon. And he hasn't shown so far since he was in the Chelsea shirt previously that he could really do anything at this current moment. When I spoke to Benfica fans about him when he was in the B team, we signed him obviously on a free. We made our profit because I think Lyon paid a loan fee. Job done with this player, right? There's too many players vying for that right wing position for me to take Go Diego Go too seriously, if at all. Remember when I said quite clearly, when we signed Malang Sarr, clear profit player. Go Diego Go falls into that same category. Clear profit player. If you actually get your profit, which we kind of have already with the loan fee, right? So can't really go wrong as long as we don't keep him for too long and pay wages forever. So he won't be making an impact. Don't try and fool us. If you're not going to make any signings, then fair enough. You're going to have a quiet window, fair enough. But don't try and gaslight nobody. Don't try and, don't try and, lie and say that we're actually acquiring these players or bringing these players back to make massive impacts, because Ain't nobody stupid. Don't catfish me with Cassidy. Yeah, don't catfish me with Cassidy. All right, there we go. Like I said, get me the actual Dora, not the backup. So that's that. Gusto's out too. He is out again. I mean, the injuries just keep stocking up, keep piling up. Nkuku was seen in training pictures as well, but he's not going to play. That was confirmed. He's not involved. Gusto, he played, I think, 90 minutes against Preston, consecutive 90 minutes across those games in that period as well. He's now back injured again. Could he have been substituted against Preston when we were 3-0 up? Yes. Man management maybe from Pochettino needs to be, questioned on that. Could you have spared him, saved him, sacrificed? You did, and this is the potential end result. But when you're under pressure and you need results as a manager in the other games, then I'm not going to really get onto you about not taking him off because, let's be honest, I think he took him off against Wolves, right? And we were losing that game, but the games have been very close. It's not like as if we're blitzing anybody outside of that Preston game to be saying that we're going to rest or look after anyone. We tried to, even against Wolves, Caicedo couldn't play. Leslie Okachuku had to start. He wasn't ready. He played about, 58, 60 minutes, went off injured. Who else was he going to play? Matisse? I don't know. Look, it's unfortunate, man. When you've got this severity of injuries and this frequency of injuries, it's not like as if Pochettino has a history this season of rushing players back. I think he's tried, Badiashile, Nkuku. I think he's tried to take his time bringing players back in. But now there's so many injuries at once that he's having to rush people back in because we need results. We're under a lot of pressure. And these are the performers. Gusto is the best fullback available to us outside of Reece James. And it's a balancing act, right? You want to start Alfie Gilchrist at right back against someone in the Premier League? You can try it, but it might not go too well for you. So I feel for him. I do feel for him on the injuries. I don't think it's unfair to say that most managers would struggle with the amount of injuries. It's how much we're struggling and can we struggle less is also the debate and the question about his own performance as a manager, which is very fair. But regardless of how he was doing, the injuries are a problem, and we're not going anywhere serious with this volume of injuries this often. We need to sort this out. It seems very, very odd that a club can have injuries just like this consecutively. The target isn't Champions League long term or whatever. It's actually to win, and to win, you're going to need most of your players fit, and we don't have that. So it's a strange one, but yeah. That's that. Listen, as always, the scroll bar is along the bottom of the screen and you'll see who's available and who isn't. But most of the time, we don't have a lot of players available. The starting 11 basically picks itself. Broja, still no news on him, still no movements. And of course, that means, we'll see in the window in the last week. Is he going to move? Are we going to capitalise on his potential pure profit, or are we just going to leave him and not bring in a striker? Benzema, there has been a bit of interest from Lyon. We need to be careful here. Are we going to make a move? We should, in my opinion, we should make a move. But if we're not, then he's probably going to go to another club. But like I said in that last video on transfers about a week ago, wages are irrelevant. Nobody's paying his wages. He will have to take a wage cut, or something will have to be agreed between him and the Saudi club if he's going to make a move to Europe. It's not specific to us. It's not individual to our structure. Nobody in Europe is paying his wages. So you don't need to worry about wages. You just need to worry about whether or not we're going to actually make a move, or if he actually wants to be here. Because obviously he's got ties to Lyon. That's his first club, so it makes sense to go full circle at the end of his career. You couldn't begrudge him. So we move on that. Now, my team for this game is on screen. Attacking, of course. I think with no Gusto at right back, you need to get a fullback on this pitch some way, somehow, and that would be Chilwell for me. I'd be absolutely shocked and appalled and disgusted if Chilwell started at left wing. There is absolutely zero excuse. He's just come back, of course. He's had about 10 days because, he came off the bench in the last match, off the bench. So as much as, we don't really want to see it, cool, we're defending a lead, let's legislate for it. Don't start him at left wing. You've got Mudryk, you've got Sterling, you've got options. And not only do you have those options, you don't have any real true left back because Maatsen is at Dortmund getting assists. So there's no excuse. There is no exception. Chilwell starts at left back in this game if he starts. And I think he needs to because we don't have a right back. I have Gilchrist at right back for that grit, that determination, that desire, that just, off the bench, he's been infectious. So I'd like to have that from the beginning. And I don't want to see Disasi at right back. I think every time Disasi plays at right back, he looks out of place. I'd leave him at centre back with Silva, pick between him, Silva and Colwell. I've picked Disasi, aerially dominant. Colwell obviously decent at air, but I've just gone with Disasi and Silva. I don't mind if it's Silva and Colwell. I just think Silva definitely has to start because it's cup semi-final. So take your pick. Then you've got Caicedo and Enzo in midfield. Obviously, Petrovic is in goal. I don't need to even mention that. The guy is calm, composed, and handling business. Palmer in the 10, not Gallagher for me, right? And Madueke, Sterling on the flanks, and Breuer up front. Now, Sterling versus Mudryk on the left wing. I've gone with Sterling purely because against lower league opposition in the Prem and in these Preston potential games, right? In the Cup, he has usually performed quite well, or at least you can hang your hat on him potentially getting a goal or two. He did it against Luton, done it against Burnley, done it against Preston. So, look, obviously for the money he makes and for the expectation and for the, age he's at, this is not the standard of team we want him to cook against. We want him to cook against the betters as well. But against Middlesbrough at home, it's a fair chance Sterling actually could have a great game. And because of that unknown of the connection and chemistry between Chilwell and Mudryk hasn't really been tried and tested too much this season, I'm going to go with Sterling to just play better with Chilwell overlapping, maybe understand each other's game a bit better. Who knows? But like I said, we're pulling teeth here with this one because regardless of who starts, we're not really sure what type of performance we're going to get. We need to get a proper performance, whoever plays in there. Pochettino's team is on screen too. Couple of changes. I don't think Gilchrist he'll start. I do think he'll play Disasi at right back and just keep all the experienced along the back four. Gallagher will definitely play in the 10 in my opinion, which will shove Palmer out to the right flank, Sterling to the left and Breuer up front. We'll see. I think it's quite likely that Madueke and Mudryk will probably both be on the bench. And the Middlesbrough expected teams there as well. Listen, they did beat us in the first leg. Was I particularly impressed in terms of their game plan? They did what they had to do, right? They knew the weakness and they capitalised. They hit us down that right flank on their side, left flank for us, exposed Colwell and really hit us on the counter and soaked up the pressure. Do I think that they're particularly special? No. Do I think that we can, if we just play to a level that is respectable, beat them quite comfortably? Yes. But that actually has to be done first. We actually have to go out there and do it. There's no point saying it. So, we'll see. There's no room for error. There's no room for error at all in this match. We can't afford to really be conceding first. We can't afford to have any individual errors. We can't afford to play games. There's no time to be stupid and make mistakes. We have to just go in there, get a job done, be professional, a 2-0, a 3-0, and go home. No penalties, none of that bullshit, right? Get in there and get the job done. Early doors, I'm expecting this team to be on the front foot and moving at a pace. No time for foolishness, no time for taking 10 touches across the back line, sideways passes, penetrate, progress, and piss all over them. The 3 Ps. That's what I expect, right? And then we can just watch Fulham-Liverpool in peace the day after. So that's the situation, guys. That's my team. That's the context coming into the game. The injury list, like I said, was at the bottom of the screen. And I don't think there's not really much more to it, guys. There's no transfer news, really, to be honest. There's no... the only transfer news is the loanees coming in and the couple of players going out. Maybe Chalobah will leave to an Italian team, but we'll have to see. Might get busy towards the end of the window, but don't put any money on it and don't get excited for the end of the window across the board because England is looking very, very quiet right now. Maybe the Premier League are scared of all the teams, I don't know, but it's feeling like Europe. It's feeling like Spain, Italy, Germany. No money. Nobody wants to spend. No one wants to put their money where their mouth is. So it's a bit odd in this country for it to happen. Usually we have a whole heap of activity happening. Right now, dead silent. But what can you do? This is a humbler. So yeah, we move. My score prediction, I'm going to go with a 3-0 win. I'm going to back this team to perform because if they don't, I am absolutely finished. And let me know in the comments down below. What is your team? What is your score prediction? Smash up the likes. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big up your damn selves. I will see you for the watch along tonight. Better not lose. Better not draw. Better not go out. Otherwise, God rest this channel. In a bit, people. Peace.